So this is the view behind my camper. It's January 2nd. It feels more like about October 15th. And this is late afternoon. The sun is beginning to set over what I think are called the Pintler Mountains, looking just to the south as I panorama around. This is my neighbor who's doing his final stages of winter preparation, even though it's already early January. It's been one of those years where you could get a late start and get away with it. We're turning now towards the west, and you can see mountains that reach, we're at about 5,400 feet here. The mountains that I'm pointing at now reach probably upwards of 8,000 or even higher. And you can see snow higher up, but this is an extraordinarily thin snow cover for early January for southwestern Montana. As I continue around, I'm looking now very soon towards the north. There is a golf course in front of us called Old Works. In fact, I'm standing on a walking biking path just behind my camper here at Copper Court RV Park in Anaconda. And again, it's an absolutely spectacular area. These mountains also should be, and frankly, soon will be, covered with snow. As winter really is going to set in pretty soon. As I continue scrolling around, you'll see some cabins that are part of the RV park. And we're also looking off towards the east, which a little bit further in the direction of this red camper would be Butte, Montana. That's probably another 20-25 miles off in that direction, which is the next bigger town near Anaconda. It's about 25 miles from here and is about triple the population. Now I'm going to take you over by my camper, and we're going to take a look at the winter preparations that I've engaged in for the winter of 23-24. Hi, Alan here, coming to you from inside my camper, and I'm inserting this video clip on January 13, a few days after I've made the rest of this video about prepping for winter in outside my camper. I'm doing this because winter has arrived, and it's arrived in a big way. I'm going to tell you more about that at the end of this video. There's just some astounding things going on here. And there'll be more astounding things coming up in the very near future. And I'll share all that in a few minutes. This post is going to be at rvacrossamerica.net/RV Prep Winter 23-24. And while it's on my mind, please, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That will help the channel to grow. It'll help more people to get this information. And frankly, in this post, this is important information. I'm about to share with you the preps that I did for this winter. And then at the end of this video, I will share with you what has happened over the last 36 hours and why I know these preps work. So you're prepared to be astounded. Anyway, back to the video. So, spending winter in extreme cold, and when I say extreme cold, this is an area, as I mentioned in my post, that can get down to -40 in overnight temperatures. You'll notice that there is a propane tank sitting outside my camper. It's a 120-gallon tank. I've rented it from a local company here. If you do decide to stay up in the Anaconda area, I can recommend them to you. Certainly just reach out to me at rvacrossamerica.net. And you'll notice that my skirting, of course, is fully employed. You'll notice some tape up towards the front of my camper because this is a very windy area and the snaps kept coming loose, so I wanted to make sure that the snaps stayed in place. I have also employed tent stakes to stake down the skirting, so again, it stays put. The main purpose of the skirting is to keep the wind from whipping underneath. This is keeping the underbelly warmer and ensures that I use less propane than I would otherwise have to. So there are just a few things here. We've got the RV skirting. We have the black hose line here, water hose. I'll get over here. This is the no freeze water hose. It is my second or third winter of employing it, and it's been great. It's guaranteed to minus 40. It seems to be more reliable than some of the bigger name brands. Again, you've got the propane tank, and the camper itself, of course, is designed and engineered for extreme cold living. I'm adding in this video clip. It's several days after the recent video that I shot that's attached to this. It's now January 9th. It's still mild out. There's still very little snow on the ground here in southwest Montana in Anaconda. But in anticipation of some chilly weather coming in, and when I say chilly, it's likely to drop down to minus 15, might get to minus 20. This area can drop to minus 40, so it's not as cold as it can get. But because I have a gas absorption fridge, I've taken some steps here. You notice there is some duct tape on 2 of the 3 slats. Notice it's the upper 2 of the 3. This is not recommended by the RV manufacturers and can be a fire hazard, so I will remove that tape when it warms up again, let's say over 40 or 50 degrees. And notice that there is an electric cord coming down from the open slat down below. That cord, and by the way, the reason it's on the upper 2 of the 3 areas for ventilation to come in, there's another vent up here that I've not touched. The reason is that if this thing did leak propane, propane is heavier than air, so I want that bottom vent open so propane can escape. Otherwise, that's most definitely a hazardous situation. The power cord is coming out because there is a small 200-watt heater sitting in the refrigerator, the open refrigerator section in the back. And that 200-watt heater goes down to this power cord, which at the moment goes to nothing. It's not connected. The extension cord and the multiple outlets here will serve me if and when I need to plug that in. And when it drops below 0 out here, that's when I will plug this in and serve the back of my refrigerator with a little bit of heat. The thing you have to be careful of, again, this is not recommended by the refrigerator manufacturers. The thing you have to be careful of is placing the small heater in there in a place where it's not going to melt something or cause a short circuit. So you've really got to be careful if you're going to take this step. And again, it really is not recommended by any manufacturer. So that's up to you. That's the additional steps I've taken to ensure that I do not wake up on a 20-degree below 0 morning with the ammonia mixture that's in the back of this fridge having gelled and find out that I've got a refrigerator which is now worthless, or at a minimum needs some major work to bring it back to life. Okay, back to the video. Now we'll work our way around the other side. I do have window film that this window has on the inside. It's the 3M film. Now these windows are thermopane, essentially dual pane, and on the inside I've got the 3M film, which adds to the insulation. Because this winter has been so extraordinarily warm, I have not employed it very widely in the camper, but I'm ready to do so should that be necessary. I do kind of like having the full access of daylight to get in there. And you can see I even have a window open because of the unusual warmth that we have had and continue to have. Notice how I set up my camper, by the way, so that we have a paved RV site, but with the slide extended, I'm able to use tent stakes to stake down the skirting. The only place where I can't is over here under my steps and towards the front. And frankly, it has not presented a problem. I kind of would like to have guy lines going across, but this is a walkway that I use to get to my door. And again, normally this would be, I'd be standing in a foot or two of snow here. I do have a roof rake. That's what that thing is leaning up against my slide out. That's for scraping snow off of the slide out and scraping snow off the roof. That roof rake extends to a length of about 20 feet. And of course, I've got a snow shovel, which I have yet to employ this winter. I even washed the truck, although it was a really half-baked attempt at washing the truck. But I got sick and tired of having road dirt and salt all over it. You can see a couple of guy lines have been employed just in front of the truck going across the other way. And they, of course, do not block a path that anyone would normally be walking across. But the biggest thing with prepping this camper for the winter, other than its own design, has been the employment of the skirting, the employment of the no-freeze water hose, and employing the propane tank, because the propane is, of course, what you use to run the furnace, and the propane is, when you're running the furnace, is going to heat the underbelly, and that's what keeps the underbelly from freezing. Because this camper is engineered the way it is, I don't even have to run the furnace until it gets down below about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, this is an area that can go to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so obviously there's a lot of room. You can see what the campground has done, and I'll take a walk over here. I'm back on the opposite side. They have prepared the hydrant by using duct tape and insulating the hydrant. It's a no-freeze hydrant. My water is on, and it will stay on all winter. I run the camper like it was the middle of summer, so when inside I can turn on the shower and turn on the faucets. And the only possible weak point is right where the hose connects to the hydrant. And if that became an issue, I could get a sleeve, kind of like one of the pool noodles, and use that for insulation right where that brass is, where the hydrant meets my hose. The rest of it is heated and is plugged into the electric here, so that the rest of it's heated and plugged into the electric, so that you have the water hose keeping the water liquid anytime the temperature drops below freezing. Right now, the temperature is in the mid to high 30s, so the water hose is doing next to nothing. Interestingly, on the propane tank, and this is new to me from this particular company, this device here is a transmitter that when the readout goes low enough, it sends it to the propane company automatically saying, hey, he needs a refill. So it's one less thing for me to worry about. Anyway, Alan here, rvacrossamerica.net. And get over to my post. Make sure you check it out. I'm sure there's something typed in below on the screen so that you can see what the actual website address is to get more information. You've got my swim shorts drying on the door handle. And again, that would not be normal for early January, but this has been an El Nino winter, and it is what it is. My grill is still out. In fact, I'm going to be barbecuing up some chicken tonight. And even though mornings are now dropping down to about 10 degrees, that's not a problem to do the grilling. Get plenty of heat out of that grill. It's a Weber 1200, and I really like that product. So here we go. This is again January 13. This is my second and final insert into this video, and the last 36 hours have been exceptional. This has been a very, very mild winter so far, very mild autumn. Until about 36 hours ago. On Thursday, I went skiing with some of my new colleagues from Discovery over to Lost Trail, which is about an hour and a half drive from here. Lost Trail, it was a chilly day. It was around 12 degrees Fahrenheit most of the day skiing. Cold, but tolerable. On the way home, I drove over a pass after Wisdom and was dropping down into Anaconda. And in the last 3 miles before Montana 1, it's all flat ground at that point, I was watching the thermometer in my car, like most cars, it's got an outdoor thermometer. It was 17 degrees after I got over the pass, which is relatively mild. And I noticed a shift in the winds. And in the last 3 miles, the temperature dropped from 17 to -3. Yes, a 20-degree drop over a 3 mile stretch. And it was about 5 minutes before I got home. So the front had just moved through. It was very noticeable. And the temperature continued to drop until it was about -23 yesterday morning. And yesterday we had a high temperature of -19 with mostly cloudy skies and occasional light snow throughout the day. There was a couple of peaks of sunshine, but not much. When the sun set last night, the bottom fell out. The bottom absolutely fell out. When I got up this morning, this is the National Weather Service reading for the nearest town, the nearest airport. You could see it says -39 degrees. Yep, -39 degrees. That means right now it's about 66 degrees inside my camper, making it something like 105 degrees warmer than outside. Unbelievable. I've burned a lot of propane. There's no doubt I've burned a lot of propane in the last 12 hours. The furnace has been running nearly continuously. I keep the thermostat at about 64 at night, and I am running some electric heat to support that. Because of the preparations that I have done, my refrigerator, which is not supposed to work at temperatures like -39, and it might not be -39 here, it might be as warm as -35. Yeah, big consolation. Might also be colder. Sometimes we're a little colder than at airport, sometimes we're a little warmer than at airport. But -39 is a pretty good guesstimate of what it is outside. The ski area has issued a delayed opening, which I've never heard of before, but thank God for that because it is going to warm up today. We're going to get all the way up to 0, but which is still very cold. But at least it's tolerable to be outside for short periods of time. And I'm not moving outside just yet. It's currently 8:38 in the morning, and I don't really have to leave the door until probably close to 10 o'clock before I head up for the mountain. But yeah, the refrigerator is holding up. The freezer temperature is about 19 degrees, which is a little warmer than I'd like to see it, but it's definitely holding its own. That heater is clearly doing the trick. That tape that I put on is clearly doing the trick. So the preps work. These preparations work, and I can only encourage you, if you are camping in cold weather, I'm telling you, this is based on a decade of experience. These things work, and you need to do them. I have also been dripping water for the last 18 hours, just a very, very slow drip just to keep water continuously moving. I don't want to risk having a freeze up at the hydrant. I did point out in the video that there is a brass fitting there where the hose meets the hydrant, and that is not protected, but it has not been a problem. It's only about an inch or an inch and a half long, so that's working well. Bottom line, everything looks good. The sun's out right now. It looks beautiful outside, but it's got kind of that, I don't know, kind of a foggy haze showing you that there's very shallow Arctic air sitting over here, and it's chilly. Oh, and by the way, within the next 5 to 6 days, we have a heat wave coming. It's going to be in the mid 40s. So this is definitely the strangest winter I've ever experienced. But yeah, cold weather preps do work in campers. It helps to have the right camper. This is a outdoors RV, Glacier Peak fifth wheel. It's got dual pane windows. That's built into it. It's got insulation in the roof, triple insulation in the floor, all kinds of stuff. I've got posts on my website, rvcrossamerica.net, that will share with you what is so exceptional about the outdoors RV and, for that matter, the Arctic Fox totals. And again, find this post at rvcrossamerica.net/RV Prep Winter 2324. And please, again, like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you find the video directly that you're watching. And if you do, then please go over to the post and you can go there and you can sign up for my newsletter and take a look at some of the other information that's in the post. I always fill in gaps, I always fill in details. So, with that thought, I'm going to close with this thought. Thank you. Okay, Alan here, rvcrossamerica.net. Take care.